Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to my video. So this is for all you Mustang owners out there. You guys have the same issue where you're driving or your car's idling and out of nowhere your engine starts sputtering and dies on you, but everything else seems to be working. All the lights seems to be good, except it dies on you and your odometer just shows dashes on the screen. Here's an easy fix for you guys. Now, I know a lot of you guys are in this situation, probably thought it's the alternator, it's the battery. Probably like go out of your way to change the alternator and battery just off the bat, and that probably didn't fix your situation. Which kind of sucks because it really does sound like an alternator issue if the car's running and it just dies out on you. You know, just the engine dies out on you, but everything else seems to be kind of working. The light seems to be good. You know, it's not exactly 100% an alternator situation, but it kind of seems like that. And then your odometer, you see dashes going on your odometer. So if it's not the alternator, if it's not the battery, and a lot of people assume it's one of those two things, the alternator or the battery, and they change it out, and they find out they spent all that money on an alternator or a battery, and they get into this situation where, you know, they're still having that situation. It kind of sucks because you spent all that money on it and that situation still comes up. So the next thing to look at after that, well, this should be your first couple of things to look at if this situation comes up. You guys having the same situation. They're either fuses or relays. Test out all the fuses and relays. See if those are the cause of it. If it's not, and all your fuses and relays seem to work fine, what's the next thing? Here's what I found out. All right, you guys want to check your terminals, and make sure that your terminals are good and clean. If they're not, you guys want to clean that up. All right, if that doesn't resolve your situation, the next thing you guys should be doing is to look at all the ground wires. All right, now in a car, normally in cars, there are at least a couple of ground wires. Some of it is grounded to the frame, some of it is grounded to the engine. All right, a lot of times these wires are frayed. You know, I've seen wires broken off. I've seen the screws rusted. I've seen the little connectors rusted. So what you want to do is you want to look at all the ground wires, clean those ground wires up, clean them all up, see if any of them are frayed or if they're splitting apart. If they're splitting apart, you're gonna want to either change that out or put in another line from, you know, where that line starts at to where it ends, just to mend it, just to bridge it. And in this kind of situation, in these kind of situations, normally that would resolve your issue. Now you're asking, you know, why would that resolve the issue? Because a lot of times there's this one specific ground that goes to your car's computer, the PCM. Well, it goes to one of your car's computer, ECM, PCM. It goes to your car's computer, and in this situation with the Mustangs, there's a ground that goes from the computer to the frame of the car, I think. And you know, when that gets rusted or corroded or splinters apart or frayed, you're gonna have these situations where the computer does not, you know, there's a disconnect between the computer and the car and the engine. So what happens is it causes your car to shut down, but nothing else shuts down. All right, so before you guys So obviously your car's computer controls all the you know, the fuel pump, the ignition, all that stuff that relates to the engine, and a lot more, and everything else, pretty much everything else. But one of the main problems is if you have a negative that's bad that connects the computer to the car, you know, it's going to cause that issue where it loses connection from the computer to the engine, and you're going to have that issue where the car will just shut down on you and everything else works. All right, so if you guys are looking for, you know, at this situation, all right, save yourself some money, and before you go and check out the alternator, here's the thing about it. Normally, if it's the alternator, you guys should be able to put some cables on it and it'll start up right away, or you guys should be able to get a multimeter or some kind of one of these cheap readers that will read the voltage coming of your alternator. If your alternator looks good, then it's probably not the alternator that's the problem. You should definitely get your alternator battery tested out first if that happens, and if either of those things work. And normally in these situations, sometimes, you know, the wire is kind of corroded, so it works sometimes, it doesn't work sometimes. So you have that situation where you're not able to turn your car on sometimes, but you're able to turn it on other times. And it happens every once in a while where your car is idling, or you're on the road and it turns off on you. And here's the important thing: the dashes come up on the odometer. You know, there is a good chance that this is the problem. Now, it's really hard. You know, it's kind of not easy to diagnose all the issues that comes with no start, no crank, engine dying out, etc., because there's a whole lot of components that actually goes to that. Obviously, the battery is one of them. Obviously, the alternator is one of them. Obviously, the fuel pump, the relays, the wires. It just goes on and on and on. You know, the fuses. But if you guys get this situation, save yourself some money and either look at the ground wires yourself or have somebody check out the ground wires for you. It should definitely help you out with figuring what the problem is, or at the very least, you know, you can eliminate certain things before you guys spend huge amounts of money on and time. If you guys are DIYs, and times on replacing certain things that don't need to be replaced. So, but you know, a lot of people with this situation, it's a head scratcher for a lot of them. It's a head scratcher because a lot of times, you know, it could be a bunch of different things. But in this case, a lot of times, and this is a common thing with the Mustangs. This is a common thing with the Mustangs, particularly of these model years. All right, and a lot of people look at the situation with the odometer going to, you know, the dashes on the odometer, can't figure that out. You know, this is definitely definitely a place to start with these kinds of situation. Now, I hope this has helped you guys out. If this has helped you guys out, I really appreciate it. If you guys give me a thumbs up, please subscribe. And if you guys want to leave a comment, please definitely leave a comment. And if you guys have other experiences that aren't, you know, whether this has helped you guys out or not, really would like to hear from you. And you guys take care, all right? Hope this has helped you guys out in this situation.